welcome to today's episode of the Course Building Secrets podcast. I am thrilled you are here with me today. Hey, this is a post FHL Funnel Hacking Live conference podcast today. And I recorded a bunch of them when I was there, but this is the first one post conference. And one of the reasons I'd love to do this one is because after a couple of days, you get the chance to reflect and really think about all of the awesome speakers and things that happened at the conference. So if you're not familiar with FHL, Russell Brunson owns ClickFunnels, and ClickFunnels has an annual conference every year. And what happens is about 5,000 marketers get together and learn and network and really just share awesome ideas. And so a lot of times we get sort of the state of the union of what's happening in all things marketing by going to this conference. So it's one that we love, our team goes, and we really get some great insights. For this year, one of the most awesome things is that for the first time, Russell actually mentioned fulfillment, which makes me so happy and makes my heart happy. And he gave a very strategic sort of view into how to create a marketing funnel that will bring people in and convert them into buyers. And so he gave the big picture view of that, and one of the key components of it is how do you put people into a continuity model. And he went so far as to say that you don't have a real business until you have a continuity program, which of course makes me happy. But the reason he said it wasn't because of the fact that you can actually really help not only serve your customers, but ascend them and retain them so that they stay in a membership model. He was saying it because of the reoccurring revenue, right? And so the goal in any business is to continually make money and help serve your people, right? So you're exchanging value in order to get those sales. And so that's what he's talking about, is you create a sustainable business when you have reoccurring revenue that you can count on in your business. But one of the key things that is included in a continuity or membership program, which obviously from a sales and marketing perspective, he's not focused on, is that once you get a customer, you have to keep them. Right? So in order to get that monthly reoccurring revenue, you have to do things in a continuity program to keep and retain your members or your customers. And so he talked a little bit about that, but the overall goal of a conference such as a marketing or sales conference or any conference that's out there is to share the what and the why. Right? The whole goal is to give people belief that what they're talking about is possible, and not only possible for them, the person who is the expert, but also for anyone who wants to do it as well. So when you look at a conference or any type of webinar or sales presentation, that is the goal. The goal is to give the why, the what, and provide belief. It's not to get into the nitty-gritty of the how, and I think a lot of people who are new to the game don't necessarily understand that, right? They think that the how is going to be explained as well as they're going through the conference. Now, the how is explained actually in case studies or testimonials of the speakers, but you have to be paying attention to it, right? Because it's not like, here's this 7-step model, implement this and you're good to go, right? Like there's a little bit of that, but it's only around a particular model. So by the time you walk out of the conference, you have so many ideas and so many steps and so many things to happen that you get overwhelmed. And so, I say thank you to Russell because he brings that business to me, because people go, oh yeah, continuity. I need a membership model. I need to figure out, I was working on this course, or I have this course and now I have to switch it to a membership. Like, what does that look like? How does that work? I don't really understand any of that. And that's what we specialize in, right? Is once somebody becomes a customer, how do you put them in the right model? How do you put them in the right fulfillment system so that they get results, so that they stay and continue to ascend into your other offers and things that are out there that you have for them, right? So that was the question that I came out with, is I wonder how many people are trying to figure out what to do to build a continuity program. He was so gracious and to give people levels. You have level 1, level 2, and level 3, very similar to the way that I talk about it as I'm helping people kind of frame how to build their signature programs. Is you have level 1 where it's getting in the game, level 2 is playing the game, right? You've got to get some things figured out, and level 3 is mastering the game, right? So this is when people are ready to scale and grow, and so he laid it out in that nice framework, which is great because that is exactly the framework that we teach. But there's a huge difference between I should have a continuity model and I'm successfully running a continuity model where I'm retaining my customers each and every month. And so the question I want to answer for you today is, how do you do that and what does that look like? I happened to turn on my audio recording when I was at the pool, and I was asking the question, like, what do you think it means to deliver a continuity program? And I got some really interesting answers from people who are, had been listening all week. And so I want to dive into that a little bit today because I think that is a question that a lot of people are asking. So if you're asking this question, don't worry, right? It's a totally normal question as you're thinking about how do you package your expertise? How do you take what you want to teach or what you want to help people with and deliver it in either a continuity or a program or a course or whatever you want to call it, right? And so for those of you who are at the conference or those of you who weren't at the conference, hopefully this serves you as you start thinking about continuity. So continuity, again, is where you are serving your customer month after month and they're staying in your program, your course, your membership, whatever it is that you're offering for them. And so therefore, you have to provide value every month, right? It's going to hit their credit card. And whether you're charging $97, $297, $497, $10,000, $50,000, $100,000 doesn't really matter. You need to be providing value for them so that they keep their membership month after month. So it's not a set and forget it model. It's not we're going to focus on sales and marketing. And by the way, we're just going to put a bunch of people into this continuity and hope that they stay or assume that they're going to drop, but that's okay because we're going to keep churning through people. For those of us who are interested in building sustainable businesses where we're creating an impact and we're really helping people, we want to have our customers stay. We want to provide them an experience that gets them results and brings them into our community, perhaps into our movement where they have a place where they can connect with other people, get coaching and help from us, and then learn the pieces that they need to be successful in their own business, right? And so how do you do that? So first, let me address the question that somebody had about course. So they were working on their course, and then they said, oh, well, Russell said now I have to have continuity, so I'm going to scrap my course and move into continuity. My follow-up question for him was, well, what does it look like? What do you think is in a continuity program? And he said, well, I'm not real sure. And so this is for him and for all of you is if you're building a course, if you have a course already where it's teaching your signature framework, it's teaching your methodology and doing kind of the step-by-step success path or formula that takes somebody from where they are today, that pain or problem they have, to that solution, that is an awesome place for you to start them. So that could be the first level of your membership program. It could be part of the entire membership program, or it could be something that they do first before you put them into a membership program. So when you think about so just to define membership or continuity is that there is typically some type of educational component. There's typically a community component, and there is also a interactive component, right? So some sort of take action or resources or ability to make it come to life so that they're progressing through either levels or multiple courses, multiple ways to stay engaged. And the more you can actually orchestrate the experience, the more people are going to stay. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So when you think about continuity, it is dripping content in a way that keeps them engaged, participating, and staying month after month. So sometimes that's with live calls, sometimes that's with community and new content being dropped. Sometimes it's having guest speakers. There's lots of different ways that you can make your membership come to life. But you think about it like a gym membership. You go into the gym and there are various things that you can be doing every time you go in, right? You can do weights, you can do a class, you can go to the swimming pool, you can go to the spa, you can get a smoothie. Like there's lots of different activities that you can do that keep people engaged in going month after month. If you went to a gym and you could only do one thing, you may find that you don't want to pay for that month after month, right? You may get to the point where like, I would need a little variety. I need something that's a little bit different. And so I want to go somewhere where I can connect with other people, get my workout in. And, maybe if you're like me when I was a new mom, is that I would get 2 hours of daycare. So I would work out and then I would go in and get a little work done, right? And so a lot of times people like that variety. So the difference between a course is that there's a discrete beginning and end, right? And so you have a point in time where they've gotten their result. In a continuity, there isn't a start and stop, right? There is a start and stop in terms of an organized path to each problem resolution. But there may be, and usually are, multiple problems that they're solving, right? It's a journey from where they're starting to where they ultimately want to go at the various levels. It's not a one and done kind of scenario. And so when you think about your continuity or your membership program, it's thinking about it as a living and breathing, ever changing, ever evolving community of people who are learning and connecting and engaging together in order to make it something that people want to stay and continually contribute to for life. And so there's multiple levels, there's multiple ways that people can have a more engagement or a more intimate experience if you're going to do live events or masterminds or something like that. But at the end of the day, it's just a more dynamic model that keeps people active month after month versus a course traditionally, and especially as Russell would talk about it, is something that has a start and stop and is a smaller unit of value that people have as they come into your world or as they're ascending through your world. So still provides a ton of value. A course is not something that's lesser value. It's just a different experience. It is helping people solve a particular problem that they're working on, and a membership is doing that and doing more, right? And so it's a continuous evolution of how you either loop courses together or create a more dynamic experience. So that's continuity. That's how you think about it. So the next question is like, how do I create that, right? Like, how do I put that out there? And I'm going to tell you the biggest mistake I see people doing is that they go right into the software and they just start like putting a bunch of stuff in. Oh, maybe some marketing videos, or maybe some some of my courseware, or, oh, I did this random thing this one time, I'm just going to throw that in there. And what you want to do is you actually want to start with the strategy of what your membership site's goals are and what the experience is going to be. What is your membership site and how is it different? How does it help your students? How does it keep your students in your world by creating a continuous cycle, a continuous loop that brings them deeper and deeper into the other programs or offerings that you have? And so start there, kind of map that out. What how can you put together a cohesive experience that walks them through how to go through it, right? Instead of just dumping a bunch of stuff in there, how do you make it into something that has a progression to it, has the levels, has the ability to still take people on a path that gives them results. One of our favorite ways to do this is to add in an assessment at the beginning, and the assessment actually will put them into the right place. So you are at this level, or you should take modules X, Y, and Z, because that is going to help you get to your goal. So when you can do a personalized learning path in a membership, it helps to provide that strong experience for people, so they aren't getting lost, so they know where to go, so they don't come in, get overwhelmed, and then leave. And so that is a great approach to use to get started, is that personalized learning path. And you can do that almost in any tool. It's just really thinking about, like, what are the starting points. Like, maybe you have 3 different types of people, or 3 levels of people who are coming into your membership, and so you would create an assessment that would trigger that first level, trigger the second level, and trigger the third level, and then provide them some suggestions or an actual action plan that they can use as they're going through your membership. Awesome. So the next thing is, one of the easiest ways to make sure that people have the ability to participate is to publish a calendar. What is your monthly or 90-day calendar of events that keeps people actively engaged? Sometimes it's just office hours, sometimes it's special guests, sometimes it's you're going to focus on a particular topic that you want to teach, that has relevance in the kind of the cadence of where people are. And so those are ways to keep people engaged and keep it sticky, is that you are actually having them show up for live sessions. You could have specific challenges or conversations or community posts that are going on that help them engage and connect with other people. When they're engaged and connected to others, not just you and your material, they are much more likely to stay, because they want to be a part of that network. They want to be a part of that community. And the more you can make it their identity, the more they will actually stay. All right, so hopefully this has given you a little bit of clarity on what is a continuity program, how do I create one, how is it different than a course, and like, how do I get started? So hopefully this serves you. Again, like, it's always amazing when Russell just touches on fulfillment, because again, it's not his role. It's not what the marketing and sales conference is for. It's not for focusing on fulfillment. But at some point, somebody's got to focus on it. You need to focus on it in your business, because it's actually what will help drive your success. Is if you have to constantly be getting new customers because you're not keeping them as you're bringing them into your world, you're spending more, you're expending more energy, and it is so much better and easier to just keep the customers that you have and keep them engaged and becoming raving fans. And so that's why we do what we do. So if you are in a position where you're sort of trying to figure that out, or you've sold a bunch of memberships or licenses to your course, and you're so overwhelmed because the fulfillment just isn't quite there yet, that is a great time to pick up the phone and give me a shout. If you want to talk about, kind of your ideas or how you're putting this together, or ask any questions, I do have the ability for you to just schedule a free discovery call where we just get on and talk through some of those things. But I encourage you to do that. The sooner you can do that as you're building your business, as you're moving into a continuity model, the sooner you're going to be able to set up the right foundation that helps you bring people in and continue to ascend them in your world instead of losing them and creating an experience that's really hard to unravel once you've gotten there. So give me a shout if you need to. Otherwise, I hope this episode served you, and you'll look for more on this coming up soon, because this conversation is not going to end, and we do specialize in that fulfillment piece of things. And so when you are ready to create that packaged version of your service or your expertise, you know who to contact. All right, I'll talk to you soon.